Identity with Tayameaca. Hello and welcome to another episode of Explore Your Identity. Here we delve into conversations about various aspects of our identity, both positive and negative. I'm your host, Tayameaca. I have a woman of purpose in service joining me today. A special thank you to Rosie Whittington for being my amazing guest today. Welcome, Rosie. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you, Taya.
Hope you are accepting this invite to have this conversation.
With pleasure.
How are you today?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
Thank you.
I love your outfit.
Thank you.
Colour. I love all the different colours. I'm only just noticing that you've got like matching earrings.
Me little feathers.
Oh, nice. So I always like to start off with a little bit about your background. And is there anything that you can think of, like in your childhood or in your formative years, that you feel has shaped who you are today? It could be anything positive or negative.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Liverpool. I'm a Liverpool girl through and through. My mum was quite young when she had me. She was a teenage mum. And a marriage broke down quite young, when I was quite young. And that resulted in me being raised by my grandmother, which isn't a bad thing. It was absolutely beautiful. Moving forward, my mum remarried and had 2 children, my brother and sister. I'm the eldest. So I am a sibling of 3, and I'm the eldest in the pecking order.
Oh, nice, yeah. Nice. And what was the role in your childhood? Did you kind of take on that role of being like the mother, being
I've
the
still
older
got that
one?
role.
Oh, you still do?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think I'm actually my mum's mother as well.
Oh, bless.
So I was raised by my nan, which actually shaped the woman I am today. And it just turns out that now my mum's got a little granny flat on my house and she lives with me and my children.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So back then, because what I've noticed and realised is that every generation has got its way of doing things. And I imagine that your mom would have been of that generation where, as a young mom or a teenage mom, your parents are kind of taking the child from you and then letting you maybe carry on with school or whatever and hoping that you're going to make something out of your life regardless of what's happened. Was that the situation?
Well, it was a bit complex, to be honest, but my grandmother was a very strong woman. I come from a line of strong women. And looking back, I don't think my mum had much say in the fact that my grandmother sort of took over the role of being a parent to me.
How old was your mum?
She was 19.
Okay, so
so she was still young.
Yeah.
But she did meet my dad. I call him my dad. She met a second husband who she sort of found a really secure and stable life with. And went on to have my brother and sister, Jacqueline and Declan. And we're all very close, you know, despite the fact that I lived with my grandmother. I've got a really close bond with my brother and sister and my mum. I do believe growing up, that father wound shaped the person I was in my teens and led me to a very destructive time in my life, and I actually went on to meet a partner and had a toxic relationship. I ended up marrying this person and found myself in sort of the depths of addiction for some time. But
was that in the marriage?
That was in the marriage. That was in the marriage, yeah. Right through that relationship, really. I went on to have 3 children to my first husband, who we were both in addiction together, really. I've been sober 19 years, so that...
Amazing.
Yeah, so
well
that
done.
was just... But I feel like I used the father wound, the fact that my nan raised me, as my story to stay stuck in addiction, now that I'm flourishing and thriving and in my sobriety, on reflection, I can actually look back at how angry I was and how I used that sort of story of the victim to feed my addiction, really. But at the time, I was feeling sorry for myself. I was in victim mentality, and yeah, I was in the depths of addiction, really.
Wow. So it's quite interesting when you look at how there comes like a turning point in one's life, and it happens for a lot of people, where you kind of use things from your childhood and stuff to define who you become. But then what makes the change? Like, what for you, what was that point where you thought, do you know what, I'm using this as an excuse? Like, I need to take charge of my life now.
It wasn't clear at first. You know, I made some really bad mistakes, and that just made the addiction worse because I was full of guilt and shame and blame.
Where was the guilt and shame coming from? Because so far what you said was nothing to do with you. It was the using, you know, the party lifestyle. Yeah.
Taking substance to
numb.
Yeah, and to fit in. And, you know, as I say, I was in a toxic relationship and no one was to blame. You know, I realise now, you know, my mum done amazing, my grandmother done amazing with the tools they had. It was just the way it was, and I've got no regrets because I've actually used everything that was perceived to be negative as a catalyst for growth. So my grandmother, I became her carer. She became really unwell in my early teens. She actually passed away when I was 17, and that sort of sped me on to do my nurse training because I knew I was a good carer. I got a lot of satisfaction from it. So long story short, I've ended up with a couple of day centres for people living with dementia. I've got a company now that looks after mums who were struggling with addiction, domestic violence. So I'm proud to say, you know, I've actually turned my karma into dharma, and I'm utilising my pain, my trauma, my misfortunes to make a difference in the world and to actually break cycles and patterns of destruction, really.
That's amazing because I feel like you are equipped enough to deal with women that may be facing challenges that you probably can relate to yourself.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm a very successful woman, and when I say that, I'm not saying financially, although I am financially free and independent in my own right.
Yeah.
I'm successful in the fact that I've got a story to tell and I've actually done something about it. So I'm not sitting in front of people and trying to preach, tell them how to live their lives. I'm using my own lived experience to empower and really say to these women, especially my own women in Liverpool, because there is an epidemic of cocaine addicts, you know, drug dealing, a lot of misfortune, looking for material gain to make us happy.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of that. Just showing them that there's another side to the coin, and being in service, living from a passion that's true to you and from the heart, you know, makes you successful in ways that money can't buy.
I love your definition of success. And this is what I always say, like, success is different for everybody. And so often, especially like for myself in my younger years, I thought success was just all about money and stuff. And now, as I've gotten older and wiser, I realize that my success is me waking up every day, doing something I love. My success is waking up every day, living a life of purpose, on purpose.
100%.
And yeah, so I love that definition of success.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I think being that role model for my children,
Yes.
you know, they're my motivation, my inspiration. I've got a daughter, so I've got 3 boys who unfortunately did grow up without a father, but they're absolutely amazing men. You know, I've sort of taught them how to be independent, to be strong, but be kind and caring, to have that balance in life.
Yes.
But I've also broke the cycle with my daughter, you know, showing her that, you know, it's nice to be in love with a man, but you don't hand your power over. You know, you stay strong and steady, comfortable in your own skin, and love yourself and know your worth,
Yeah.
your value.
But how have you been able to kind of teach your daughter about self-love? Because I personally knew about self-love. I knew about it, but I felt like I actually went on that journey myself, like really within, during lockdown. And during lockdown is when I turned 40. So it really took me like 40 years to get to a point of actually understanding what self-love really is, even though all along I knew it, like, oh yeah, love yourself. But I really got to grips with it not long ago. So how have you been able to
I didn't witness it in my childhood because my mum worked multiple jobs. She was very rarely home, hence why I was in my grandmother's, and my grandmother never worked, so it was both ends of the spectrum. There was a lot of resentment in my grandmother's home, and I think it was because she was stifled, because she was a very creative woman, but she married a man who was quite controlling, and she surrendered to his control, and that in turn I perceived her to be quite frustrated with her limitations. So to be honest with you, Taya, I found self-love through yoga.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I went on a yoga course about 5 years ago, and I worked really long hours. I used to work in the hospital as a nurse while setting up my business. So it was a seven-day, 24-hour commitment.
It would be.
It was huge.
Running your own business.
My own business. But even though I was passionate about it, I didn't really feel like work. There was no time for me. And I quickly realised I was becoming a martyr and a bit of a victim, because to give so much and not have that balance, it can send you into a little bit of a spiral of the pity pot. You know, where do I fit in? Went on this yoga course, and now I'm doing retreats for women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm doing lots of training courses on Lomi massage, Kundalini yoga. I'm a yoga instructor. And I'm also writing a programme on how we can use the practice of yoga, mindfulness, and a recovery programme.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because it's mind, body and spirit.
Yes.
To help us break free from cycles, to manifest, to visualise, to find our self-worth. So I'm feeding my soul. So I've well and truly found that balance, and my daughter comes on my retreats.
Oh, brilliant.
She does the sound bowls and the sound journeys, and so I'm trying to shine a light and lead by example for her, really.
No, that's really good, because I think it's important for any person, but for a young woman to kind of understand what self-love is from a younger age. I think it's a good foundation to have, because I think generally just growing up, the early adult years, so let's just say like from around 17, 18, 19, there's a lot of peer pressure. There's a lot of wanting to fit in and not knowing who you really are. And I feel like if you can really understand self-love, how to love yourself during that time, it sets a really good foundation for the future. So, yeah, that's amazing.
I pulled her from school. She doesn't go to school. She's 13, because I found that her character was getting quashed. She was coming home trying to fit in rather than being authentic.
Yes, I think it starts from those teenage years, right?
And I could recognise it because that was me. You know, it took me a long time to really find out who who I am, where I come from, stop trying to fit in, people pleasing.
Yes.
I wanted everyone to like me, love me. So when I seen that in her, I pulled her from school, and now me and her spend a lot of time together. She's part of my businesses.
Amazing.
Yeah, so she's my little sidekick, really.
No, that's really good. So you've touched on what you're currently doing in terms of like the yoga. Is there any more you want to tell us a bit more about your businesses?
Well, I've been recognised in my business. I've won a number of awards.
Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You
But
deserve it and more.
I do deserve it, but the team that I've got, are absolutely phenomenal. As I say, I've got a few businesses, and the majority, of my staff are women, and they're just absolutely phenomenal. I do cherry pick, I do hand pick, but they've all got my back. I've got theirs, and we're just so supportive and appreciative of one another. So yeah, I've won the awards, but I couldn't do it without them, I'll be honest.
Amazing. So in everything that you've done, is there anything that you feel is like a personal achievement? It could be in your business, it could be in your personal life, anything, because you've achieved a lot. You're an award-winning businesswoman. Anything you feel like, wow, this has been an achievement for me?
The first thing that comes to my mind is being a mum, but I'm going to retract that because I wouldn't be the mum I am today without my sobriety. So I think having the courage to break away from a toxic marriage, finding myself with no money, 3 babies, and to do the 12 steps, I think that is the biggest achievement of my life. And it's also created this life of purpose and in service that I've got now. So without having the courage to do the 12 steps and to get sober, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Yeah. Oh, I'm proud of the woman you are.
Thank you.
And please keep on changing lives and making women discover the best version of themselves.
I intend.
What's next?
So next, I'm looking to sort of create some kind of recovery retreat. I've got land in Portugal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I feel like I would like to be able to take women away from their surroundings and really give them a taste of what it's like to feel free, to find themselves, and to really dig deep. And I might sound, a bit narrow-minded, just choosing women, but in my experience, we do show up differently when there's no men around. And it's just something that's really close to my heart, to sort of support women in recovery, to empower them and just give them a little taste of what life's like without.
Oh, I can imagine waking up in Portugal and being surrounded by nature and grounding and all that.
Oh, yes.
Sounds like a lovely experience. Can you take me with you next time?
Yes, most definitely.
Oh, actually, before we move on, how can people connect with what you're doing?
So I've got my biggest platform is probably Instagram.
Okay.
So my day centres are called Me to You Centre. We've got one in Huyton and one in Kirby. We've just opened the one in Huyton and we've doubled our capacity. So we've got plenty of room for anyone who needs support, with anyone with a diagnosis of dementia or just memory problems, or older people suffering from mental health problems. Got a fantastic facility for stimulation and to give carers some respite. So that's called the Me to You Centre. We've got a website and we're on Instagram. I've also got an Instagram page called Thrive, and it's Thrive EST 2022. So Thrive Established 2022. And that's where all our retreats are, our yoga, anything to do with well-being, mindfulness, and so
Awesome.
on.
I'll make sure the links will be in the description on the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Oh, brilliant. As you know, I love fashion. I like to delve into fun fashion-related questions. And my first question for you is, what's one unusual item that you have in your handbag or that you always have on you?
Something I always have is a
Yes.
brown pencil.
Brown?
Okay. Yeah.
Brown
Dark
pencil?
brown.
Okay.
Because I can colour my eyebrows, do my eyeliner, do my lip liner, and if I even feel like it, pencil a beauty spot on.
Oh, lovely.
So the
Any
one
particular
pencil,
brand?
no,
Or...
cheap as they come.
Oh, lovely. Oh, as long as it's working, right?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Oh, so I guess if you found yourself without your brown pencil, you'd be in the next pharmacy or beauty counter.
I just feel baldy, Taya. I need it.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
cool. Have you got any item of clothing that you emotionally attached to?
Anything fleecy, comfies.
Oh,
Love me comfies, Taya.
Yeah.
So anything fleecy.
did you wear a onesie in winter?
Always love them.
So do I. Oh, okay. And what's your personal definition of fashion? I do love the colours you've got on today.
Well, my children call me a middle-aged hippie.
Oh,
Because, I mean, I've got dressed nice for you today. But sometimes I get called second-hand Rose because everything I've got is hand-me-downs. My friend gave me this. I got this in the second-hand shop. So...
Oh, I love it. So
Yeah.
that you like sustainable shopping.
anything that's a bargain, anything that's on sale, I'll
Oh,
buy
that's
it and wear
good.
it.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I do like the colourfulness. I love colour. So anything colourful always catches my eye. And what's your, we've just done that, right? Your personal definition of fashion?
Middle-aged hippie.
Middle-aged hippie. Okay. Do you have any particular, like a standout shopping experience or anything you like shopping for that you can think of?
Something that comes to mind is, so my mum's sister lives in Milan. She's been there 40 years. And when I used to go over in the school holidays, she'd take me to the markets and the warehouses where, you know, all the second-hand Moschino and
My favourite brand.
all the good gear. So this one year I was about 17 and I'd been experimenting with dyeing my hair. My hair had gone pink. And we went to one of the warehouses in Milan and we found a pink fur coat.
So
Moschino.
these were all like the original.
All original, all being worn on the catwalks or...
Can you take me there?
They're absolutely beautiful. So I come back to Liverpool with pink hair and a pink fur coat.
Oh, wow.
But it was Moschino.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love that. I can
you.
imagine that look. Yeah, it's bold luxury.
That's me all over.
Oh, wow. Do they still exist? I bet
Probably.
they don't now with the internet. Everything just gets sold off online, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They probably don't exist, but yeah. I would be there.
Yeah, I had all the good stuff.
Oh, wow. And is there any standout, not so good experience, shopping experience? Or is there anything you hate shopping for?
Do you know what? As I've got older, Taya, I don't really like clothes shopping. If someone gives me a bin bag of second-hand clothes, I'm absolutely buzzing and I'll always find an outfit that matches. But as I've got older, I've got no desire to go clothes shopping whatsoever.
Yeah. But you love your second-hand clothes
Love them,
and
yeah.
vintage
Feel
and
like
all
it's
that.
Christmas when someone gives me a bag of clobber.
Amazing. Oh, cool. That's good because you can literally create like personal style with this is what I find with like vintage stuff and secondhand. Well, for me, I go as far as customizing it all and like when it comes to shopping, there's no limits with me. I'll shop in Asda, I'll shop in Gucci, I'll shop in the charity shop. I'll have hand-me-downs, anything. Like as long as it's clothes, I get excited.
You're absolutely beautiful, Taya.
Oh, thank you.
You really are.
Yeah. So when it comes to clothes, as long as it's clothes, I don't care where they're coming from. Obviously, with the way the fashion industry is now, we're always looking to be more sustainable. and not promoting like fast fashion and stuff like that. But yeah, I just love clothes. I love creating them. I love customizing them. I love giving them a second life.
Definitely.
So I'm glad that you shop consciously without even realizing.
It.
Yeah. So that's good. Have you got any fashion related question for me?
Well, given what I've just said, that I'll wear anything. I would like some advice around what would suit my colouring. You know, what type or colours would suit me.
So this is what I say, based on what I've seen you wearing today, you're clearly not scared of colour.
No.
So it looks to me like you would try any colour, right? So the most important thing is, since you're not scared of colour, you could pick up any colour, just go for the shade that goes with your hair colour, your eye colour. So instead of a green that probably would go well with my skin tone, you go for the shade of green that goes better with your skin tone.
Okay.
And then also in terms of like the shape and stuff like that, this is how I go about it. I always kind of play up on what I like the most about my body. So then if it's my legs, well, for me, I'm comfortable with the whole body. But let's just say it was just my legs. Then I'm always looking for an outfit that will show my legs in the best light. If it's my bust, and then you kind of play around with your best bits.
Okay.
And then anything that you're not, if it's your legs you don't like, then you always go for maybe like mid-length, knee-length, mid-length, maxi-length and stuff like that. So it's always about dressing in the right shade for your complexion, your eye color, your hair color. I mean, like a pink moschino coat and pink hair, like you can't go wrong with that, can you?
So I'll get my best bits out.
Yeah, get your best bits out, play around with them, and anything that you're not so comfortable with, still kind of, show it off, but in a way that makes you comfortable and brings out the best version of you. And don't be afraid to try on anything and everything. Try it on. If it works, wear it again. And I found now, with having the boutique, I'm more like that. I'm more inclined to just try on stuff that I wouldn't normally just think, this doesn't look good on me, or anything I have on the rail, I'll try on at least once.
Be brave.
I've become more brave, and I'm like, this dress I'm wearing now, this is not what I would normally choose. But now, because I'm in that mindset of just trying it on, if it's my size, try it on and see. So yeah, I'm always discovering new things, and but the most important thing is to dress for your body. Yeah, and for the occasion. Yeah. I mean, like, you can never be too overdressed anyway.
I couldn't put my onesie on today, could I?
No, but this is what, is it Vivienne Westwood said, if in doubt, overdress. Yeah.
I like that.
So, yeah, I think we'll finish with that. If in doubt, overdress. And keep being a glamorous hippie. What was that?
Middle-aged hippie.
I think we've come to the end of our conversation. I would love to get to bring you back on and talk more about all your work involvement with the women and stuff like that.
Lovely.
So, but for today, I've had fun having this conversation, getting to know a little bit about how we got to the Rosie that I know today. Yeah. So that's amazing. Thank you so much. And we've reached the conclusion of this episode of Explore Your Identity. I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to all our viewers and listeners. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find other identity podcasts and episodes on our channel. If you found value out of this episode, please share it. Let us know your thoughts. And keep exploring your identity. Until next time. Explore Your Identity with Tayameaca.